Alright, so we're ready to put on the X and Z axis in tandem. We've gone ahead and put on these two corners here. We have these corners, which are the smaller of the two, go on the top, with the grooves facing upwards. And then this sets on top of the motor, and the three M3 holes on the bottom fit into the three M3 holes that, if you were to connect them, make a triangle on the frame. And we have that here, and here the motor goes under it with the shaft facing upwards. We're going to use M3 15mm to attach them to the frame, and M3 10mm to put the motors in, as always. So we're going to go ahead and put these two corners on. We're also going to need nuts and washers. Put our washer on there, and our washer on there. Alright, get that in. There we go. And we're going to have to tighten these up because we're going to put some rods through them in a second. So just giving them a couple turns to tighten them. Normally we would save this, but alright. Alright. Alright, drop my Allen key. Alright, now we're going to do the bottom one. This one will take 3. Although for now I can only tighten 2. Alright, so we've finished tightening all of the upper and lower Z corners, and we've also attached the two motors with their shafts facing upwards. Next, we are going to take a look here at the X axis we assembled earlier. Except there's a couple differences now. We've inserted M8 nuts into the slots here and threaded the threaded rods all the way through on both sides. And we've taken 2 linear bearings on this side and then 1 on this side, and they just snap in there. So we're going to take this last one here and just snap it in. Make sure it lines up properly, and it's good. So now we are going to attach it to the Z motors. So we're going to go ahead and set it here just to let it rest. Take our smooth rods and slide them through so they go through the bearings, down, and then they will fit in the 2 holes that have been made. Do on the other side. Okay, so now our axes are on there. Now if you threaded them too far, you're going to have to put them back up so you can put the couplers on. Okay, now we have the X and Z axes on there. We have the rod screwed up far enough to where we could put on one of the couplings. Basically what we did, it's a 5 to 8mm coupling. You put the 5mm side down on the shaft, motor shaft, about halfway in, and then tighten the grub screws to grab the motor shaft. And then you'll just go ahead and slide down the axis into the 8mm side until it hits the shaft, screw in those, and the two should be coupled. So we're going to go ahead and do it on the following side. About right here looks good, so we'll go ahead and tighten it. on both sides. If you tighten one side more than the other, the coupling will be slanted, so you kind of have to be careful. And now, since our other side is already in, we have to thread this down ourselves into the other one. And eventually it should come to a halt. Let's make sure we have these loosened up enough. Yep, keep going. So as soon as it hits the motor shaft, you'll know you've gone in far enough. And then you can tighten your grub screws and be done with it. Alright, we've hit the shaft, and then tighten these. Okay, now our X, Y, and Z axis are all attached. We are going to go over the bed mounting and then move on.